So here is our wiring, so we know how it goes back together, and we'll disconnect that stuff and stuff. Again, I like to put the terminals back in, the terminal screws. One more. So our purple wire, which is our solenoid, our primer solenoid. And I won't tighten them up all the way, but I'll just give them a little, just so they don't fall out. These are just threaded into plastic. It's just a terminal strip. So that'll stay on this block, even when we do the rebuild. Won't be a problem. If we do a rebuild. So we'll take these two flathead screws, put them in the same bag with all of our electrical screws. Put the flywheel nut on there too. So now notice we have all of this in one shot, our power tilt and trim. We have our stator. I will take those bolts and put them in the bag. They're pretty obvious. There are only bolts like this on the whole motor. And now we just have to take our trigger base off. So this is flathead screws with little clips. All right, little clips go on there to hold that so it can rotate. So as you can see, it doesn't take very long, and you have the entire, now here's our trigger base, our stator, I'm going to hold it by the heavy parts, and our starter motor. Oh, we do have to disconnect our VRO pump. Let's do that because we don't want to reuse that anyway. It's got a tie strap on it here. Well, I don't want to reuse that. What's your opinion? I know guys that love them, that say they work great when you take care of them, but it's also pretty easy just to mix it in your tank. But it can get messy, right? Sometimes you forget how much is in your tank. All right, so here we are now with that. What was it? What did it take me? 10 minutes? 15 minutes maybe? I don't know. And we have the whole setup right here, all in one shot that we can put right back on another motor. One of the things that I like about this setup is that it's a little heavy right now, so I'm going to put it down and then explain to you. So we're going to put it in our parts bin. But what I like about that is CDI makes replacement parts. You can get power packs, you can get coils, you can get stators. I remember talking to my buddy Aaron Hilligus down in Florida when we did our podcast, and he made a statement that kind of stuck with me. He said he feels like with Evinrude's, with electronic parts, it's a 50-50 shot. You can put a new power pack on. Sometimes it runs great for many years. Sometimes it just doesn't. So I've had the best success with OEM parts, which are getting more and more hard to find. As a matter of fact, some of these electronic parts, there's no OEM left. So when I have an old motor and I have the full setup, I've actually gone to customers, hey, I did a power pack last year, I did a trigger paste this year, it'll run fine and then it won't run, and I'm back and forth with this thing, you know, it's driving me crazy. I've already put like $2,000 into this thing. Now, you know, I sell a V4 motor if it's not rebuilt. If it's a used motor that I fixed up and flipped, it's probably around $2,000, $2,500 if all the maintenance been done to it. And so I'm like, he really could have had a whole nother motor. But remember, this is over the course of a couple of years too, so it's easy to get sucked into that. So what I've found is I go, look, let's give it one more shot. I got a full set of electronics. We'll change it all out, all in one shot. If it runs good, run it. If it doesn't, it's time to go. There's something else going on with it. Of course, you always start with a compression check. Your carburetors have to be clean. Fuel system has to work well, equally. But a lot of these fuel systems are pretty basic, so it's not too much different to go wrong with them. But when I see those CDI packs mixed with OEM stuff, I don't know, just doesn't always work out. What's your experience? So in our next episode, we're going to continue on, right? We have our bag of bolts here. We're going to get these carburetors off. We'll flip this around. And we probably won't go too deep into tearing this down yet. I'll probably get that other block over here and see what parts we can use on that block. But first, we'll probably get it on the midsection and do another quick compression check before we invest that much time. So it's really not too difficult. I spent more time with the bolts that broke taking this off, and I'm amazed that the long bolts didn't break, because usually those are the ones that break. But that's what happens sometimes. That's what happens when you work on stuff, roadblocks. And if you have enough parts and old motors kicking around, you can usually get something running. So please like, subscribe. Let me know where you're at with this, because right now we're a couple hours, I'd say maybe 2 hours into this tear down. It may be another 2 hours to get it back together and running. Is that a 4-hour turnaround? 5 hours maybe to get something up and running? I'm also stopping and talking here too, so while I'm making videos. But I've spent more time working on getting the engine block off. Now, what's going to happen with our 2006 4-stroke? How is that going to go? That'll be probably next. We'll definitely get this block over here and do a compression check. And maybe I'll drop this one for a little bit and I'll say, okay, we're 4 hours in. We'll write it down. We're 4 hours into this, and then we'll start. But I don't like to have two motors apart on my bench at the same time. So let me rethink this. I think I'm going to go through the whole process with this 2-stroke first. I may be able to fully dress it and everything, and then it's just the gasket, the base gasket, that I'll be waiting for if that motor will be good. So that's probably what I do, because I don't like to have two motors apart. As you can see, I have a really long bench here. I used to have 3 rebuilds going at once, but I didn't have all the stuff up here that you see right now because I was just focused on rebuilds. And as things changed, you know, I changed this up a little bit. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and let me know your thoughts. 2-stroke rebuild, 4-stroke rebuild. Which one is best, or neither? Have a great day.